Today's video, we will be discussing market integration. Intended learning outcomes. 1. Define market integration. 2. Identify the actors that facilitate market integration. 3. Explain the role of international financial institutions in the creation of a global economy. 4. Equip students with 21st century learning and develop higher order thinking skills that will lead towards a deeper understanding of global economic structures, as well as articulate a stance on global economic integration and how it impacts the Philippines. What is market integration? Answer: according to Coles and al., they have defined market integration as a process of which firms expand by consolidating additional marketing functions and activities under a single management. So, in layman's language, we can say that market integration is a form of expanding one's business. Now, what are the reasons for market integration? Number one, to remove transaction costs. As much as possible, uh, business people do market integration to lessen or to remove totally the, the amount spent for transacting a particular business. Number two, it fosters competition. Competition in the sense that if a new business or if a business is uh, introduced to a new location, technically the other business will have to adapt and make their products or items really competitive in terms of the new market. Number three, provide better signals for optimal generation and consumption decision. So, meaning mm, the owners of the business will have a grasp in terms of decision making, set in consumption and making the production of goods or products more efficient. Number four, improve security of supply. So ideally, uh, the purpose of expanding one's business is to create or to produce goods or product, making it uh, available for every consumers. Now, I this is actually a group task, but instead of doing a group task, I like you to observe the picture on your left, the picture on your left and on your right. So on your left, you will notice here the vertical integration, and on your right, horizontal integration. Please observe them very carefully, and then later on, uh, we'll try to discuss them one by one. All right, so we move on to the next picture. All right, so this is an example of a conglomeration. Then later on, I'll explain. All right, let's move on. Question: what do we mean by vertical integration? Answer: when firms perform more than one activity in the sequence of the marketing process. It is linking together of two or more functions in the marketing process within a single firm under a single ownership. Example: A meat industry buys all the functioning plants needed for running this meat industry. Now, if you have noticed a while ago, I have presented the picture about uh, this form of integration, wherein a company buys all the necessary uh, plants or functioning plants that is needed in his business. So, meaning instead of asking or paying for the services of other companies in making or processing a particular product, the owner of the business purchase those essential equipments, technologies, or probably uh, manpower or a particular product that is needed of a particular uh, particular thing that is needed in the production of a product. All right, so next we have what are the advantages and disadvantages of vertical integration. Number one, it allows you to invest in assets that are highly specialized. So essentially, the owners will have to purchase advanced technology and aiding the smoothness production of a product. It gives you more control over your business because you do not need to ask the services of a certain company that is needed in the creation of your product. So you have control over it. It allows for positive differentiation. You have the control in terms of uh, the income and the possible profit for your product. It requires lower cost of transaction. Lower cost because all the necessary equipments are inside your company and you will not be uh, making any deal or transaction with other companies with regards to the production and creation of your product. It offers most control. So mention because you own all the technologies needed in the creation of your product, technically speaking, you control everything. It ensures a high level of certainty when it comes to quality. Certainty to quality because of the use of tech high of advanced technology, there is an efficiency in the creation of a product and it provides more competitive advantage. So when you purchase advanced technology, therefore there's a less possibility of failure and it creates uh, a much more competitive advantage in the market. The disadvantages, it can have a capacity balancing problem. Capacity because there might be an overproduction of your product. It can bring about more difficulties. More difficulties in the sense that, for example, in purchasing advanced technology, it is much costly. It can result in decreased flexibility. Decreased flexibility in the sense that uh, if there are adjustments that is needed in the creation of your product, uh, of course, with the aid of advanced technology, so it will be very difficult to adjust because machines are programmed on a certain particular thing. But if it needs an extra adjustment, you need the assistance of experts. It can create some barriers to market entry. Barriers in the sense that um, Uh, Barriers in the sense that there is a possibility that you monopolize a particular product in the market. So therefore, other competitors will not have any chance to compete against your business. Now, what do we mean by horizontal integration? This occurs when a firm or agency gains control of other firms or agency performing similar marketing function at the same level in the marketing sequence. Example, independent oil refineries coming under U.S. oil companies. So, in the picture provided to you a while ago, you will note there that there is a specific oil company that controls other small companies that produces oil. So when we talk about horizontal integration, there is a monopoly. One is monopolizing a particular product. How? Possibly uh, that the one who monopolize purchase those companies that also extract or produce oil or crude oil. So this is an example of horizontal integration. So meaning the one who monopolize profit more. Okay, now what are the advantages and disadvantages of horizontal integration? Advantages, letter A, lower cost. Okay, letter B, higher efficiency. C, decreased differentiation. D, increase in market power. E, reduced competition. F, access to new markets. G, economic of scale. H, economic of scope. I, international trade. Now, what about the disadvantages? Letter A, destroyed value. B, legal repercussion. Letter C, reduced flexibilities. Now we move on to the last, the conglomeration. Now on the third picture that was shown to you a while ago, it is an example of a conglomeration. Now let us define what conglomeration is. It is a combination of agencies or activities that directly related to each other, may, when it operates under a unified management, but be termed a conglomeration. So meaning a conglomeration are group of businesses owned by different owners who created this particular group to protect themselves or to protect their business and to save the interests of their business. Example, a Hindustan Unilever Ltd, Delhi Cloth and General Mills Beer Lagoon. Also, in the picture, you will note there that uh, majority of uh, majority of the companies there are Korean branch. So meaning uh, these companies are owned by different Koreans or corporations in Korea. So the reason why they create such group is to protect their interests, to protect and to promote their product. What are the effects of conglomeration? Risk reduction through diversification. There is a possibility that uh, there are diverse people within these different companies in a conglomeration. Acquisition of financial leverage. In terms of bankruptcy, other members of the conglomerate will have the opportunity and responsibility to help those uh, company or members of a conglomerate that is into bankruptcy, therefore acquiring much financial leverage. And of course, empire building. So the reason why a conglomerate is created is to expand businesses connection, therefore making an empire for each members. Right? For the assessment, instead of you submitting this on a one half crosswise, I would like you to analyze this problem. Let me read the problem for you. Mr. Nicanor is a barbecue vendor. He sells his good on the street of Recto Avenue, Manila, every 4 p.m. daily. He earns 5,000 pesos a day, depending on the flow of customers. When businessman opens a new restaurant on the place where Mr. Nicanor sells his barbecue, he offered him to buy his recipe for 500,000 pesos to make sure that he will not sell any more on that place. Mr. Nicanor was very anxious because he doesn't want to transfer his business to another place because his earnings on that place was very lucrative. If you were on Mr. Nicanor's shoes, what will you do? Okay, same question that I will ask to all of you. If you are in Mr. Nicanor's shoes, what will you do? If you're offered by a businessman 500,000 pesos just to make you stop your business and transfer your business to another place, will you accept the offer or reject? Think, think, think. So, yes, of course. So, if I were Mr. Nicanor, I will not sell my business. Why? 500,000 is too low. Now, how and why, what is my basis? If you multiply 5,000 pesos to 365 days, it will amount to 1.8 million pesos in 1 year. See? So, what's the lesson here? What is the lesson? Anyone? So, the lesson here is never sell something that you own. Never sell something that you own. Meaning, all of us are given the gifts. All of us are given the talents. Never sell it. Probably you have not yet discovered your talent. The thing is, sooner or later, you will discover it. Alright? Any questions? Class dismiss.